Today I'm going to be talking about preferences and body types. So this should be a very interesting convo or live session. Those of you that are watching on YouTube or watching on Instagram, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you share the videos with your friends, tag them, subscribe to my page. Make sure you go check out my podcast, the More Than Love podcast. We just released episode 2 this morning, so make sure you go check it out. You can watch it on demand. It's available on iTunes, on Google Play, on podbean.com. So just make sure you check it out when it's convenient for you. All right, so I'm going to be talking about, today we're talking about preferences and body types, right? And this is kind of in response to the comments that I saw on a post that I put up on my Instagram page, where it was basically a guy broke up with his girlfriend after almost a year because her booty wasn't big enough apparently, and he could sense that he was going to end up cheating on her. So he did the noble thing and decided to end the relationship. All right. That's perfectly fine. Now, let's just make it very clear. We all have the right to leave a relationship whenever we feel like it, right? I state that all the time across the board, male or female. You always have the right to leave a relationship for whatever reason you want to. You just have to live with your reasons. You have to live with the consequences of your decisions, right? And so when we talk, and this topic brings up a lot of hypocrisy, right? It exposes a lot of female hypocrisy. For one, how they treat breakups, and how they treat men having preferences for what they like in women, right? And this actually connects with another post that I was tagged in earlier, or I happened to see earlier, where the actor Chad Boseman, the guy that played Black Panther, he was in a picture with a very light-skinned woman, and he got some backlash from black women complaining about him being with a light-skinned woman. So it's just right in line with the topic, women criticizing or judging men for their preferences, right? All right, so now the definition of a preference. It says a greater liking for one alternative over another or others. And so on the post about the guy that has a preference for big booties, there seems to be this assumption that just because you like big booties, that means you're not attracted to women that don't have big booties, or you don't like other type of women. And that's a major false assumption. False assumption alert. Big surprise, right? Women assume something and treat it as if it's fact, and it's totally incorrect. Part of the reason that men like to stay single and be able to fuck whoever they want to is because they can fuck different types of women. They get to have sexual experiences with different types of women, different shapes, different heights, different skin complexions, different nationalities, etc. Men like a variety of women. That's not new information. That's not a secret. That's something that has been proven over and over and over again, right? So for women to come with the thought process that he pretended to want her, he wasted her time, like, what the fuck are you talking about? He obviously liked the woman enough and cared about her enough to get in a committed relationship with her for a year, and has enough love and respect for her to break up with her instead of just fucking over her behind her back. Completely ignored it. They completely ignored it, right? So that's so frustrating from a male perspective because it's a direct contradiction to what women scream every time we talk about cheating. Just leave. Leave before you cheat. The worst thing you can ever do is cheat. I would have so much more respect for you if you leave before you cheat. Then as soon as a man leaves before he cheats, they criticize him too and treat him just like they treat men that cheat. So when I'm talking to y'all about why men have a zero fucks attitude about what women think a lot of times, is because y'all are so fucking hypocritical. You say one thing, men should do this is what we suggest, this is what we respect, and then when a man does it, You give him the exact same treatment he would get as if he didn't do it. So I just talked about this on another session because it's so prevalent among women where they do this. They have this hypocritical mentalities and hypocritical perspectives on things. If you treat a man, if you punish a man for doing something and for not doing it, from going forward, he's going to choose the option that gives him the most pleasure and just say, fuck it, I'm going to get the same treatment regardless. That's exactly what happens when men disregard women's thoughts about things like this. Because in his brain, he's being the good guy. He's being the respectful. He's doing what women say that he should do. He's trying to protect her heart. He's trying not to ruin her life and all the fucking romance cliches about what y'all say about cheating, right? So he does it, and now y'all talk shit about him and criticize him for doing that. Lose-lose situation. That's why for a lot of men, it's not even worth it to try to please women. It's not even worth it to give a fuck what women think. Just do what works for you. Date based on the strategy that work for you. Put yourself in a position to win and don't give a fuck about what they think. Which is why I operate my page that way. Ironically. Like if I just try to do what women say and nobody would learn or benefit from any of that. Because I'm exposing how hypocritical they are, how inconsistent they are, how biased they are towards women and against men. How whenever we have a situation where a woman leaves a man, it's all good. A woman can leave a man if she wants to, right? Anytime a man does anything that women have an issue with, instantly we start seeing suggestions about she should break up with them, he ain't shit, you'll be better off with them, he's a fuck boy, etc. Right? We don't get that same energy when it's a woman leaving a man. And women, you know, like so when we're talking about these body preferences, right? So a man preferring a woman with the big booty. It's not there's nothing wrong with that, right? You get to like what you like. You decide how much value or weight you're going to place on that or how much importance you're going to place on it. But we all have the right to like what we like. Women are allowed to have all these standards that they have for men, right? You got to be a certain height. You got to be a certain complexion. You got to make a certain amount of money. Your dick got to be a certain size. You got to do certain things. You got to accept her for how she is. You got a whole long list of things that you have to do to be able to date the average women, which is why most of these motherfuckers is single, because they list far exceeds what they bring to the table or what men see them as, right? But they still are allowed to have them. You're allowed to have these standards or these criteria that you want them to meet. But when a man has standards, it's a problem. How more hypocritical can you be? How's it okay for you to curve a dude because you didn't like his body type? You don't date fat dudes. You don't date bald men. He looked lame. But when a man decides that he doesn't want a woman or curves a woman, it's a fucking felony. That don't make no sense. That's not fair. That's not reality. And that's never going to stop men from choosing what they prefer. A man could be dating two women, and that's why he has to have the intelligence to be able to evaluate women. Yeah, I know y'all hear me talk about that all the time. What are the things that I say that men that are successful with women do? They figure out dating strategies that give them an advantage among their peers. They figure out which women want them faster than other guys figure it out. So they are willing to take the rejection that comes with getting curved because that saves him time, energy, and wasting his energy on this woman. So they take that risk of embarrassment, hurt feelings, etc. But they're doing it with the purpose. They're doing it to figure out who wants them and who don't. They focus their energy on the women that want them. And that's part of the reason they're more successful than average. Very basic strategies. Very simple things. Right? And so men have to accept that they can't change their height. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain things that you just have to accept. Everybody's not going to be blessed with the perfect six pack, a perfect body, be 6'5", etc. Some dudes are short. Some dudes have little dicks. Some dudes don't make a lot of money. Some dudes don't have good conversation skills. They still have to make do with what they have. And so do women. So a man that has to choose between two women, right? He likes both of them. They both quality women. They'll both be good mothers. But one has a big booty and one doesn't. Why in the hell wouldn't he choose the one that looks like he likes? That's common sense. That it reminds me of the conversation that we were having about dating a stripper. Like it's the same thing. A preference. I prefer a woman that don't have her ass all over the internet, that don't grind and let dudes rub on her ass for dollars. That's just my preference. So if I can choose between an engineer, a project manager, and a stripper, I'm not going to choose the fucking stripper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a basic decision that I have the right to make. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. If you are in a position to be able to make those decisions and you can live with the consequences, make your decisions. And that's typically what men do, because when men try to appease women or try to be the good guy, try to use the moral compass, this dude could have easily just got a big booty side chick and been fucking the shit out of her behind her back. Easily. Could have easily done that. Chose not to. Chose to be a stand-up guy, break up with her, let her keep it moving. Breakups are always painful. You never gonna have somebody break up with you and you just gonna be like, thanks, man, I appreciate it. That was so real, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's never how breakups go. Breakups are always painful. Tears, heartbreak. Why? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, especially because generally only one person wants to break up. Breakups are rarely mutual, where y'all both was at the point where you was ready to break up. A lot of people try to break up with you before they think you want to break up with them. So we all know that breaking up is painful. So I can understand why the woman would be hurt or whatnot, but there's nothing you can do about that outside of altering yourself to try to meet his preference, which is not smart. You know what I mean? Because then if she did do that and then they broke up, then she'd have something to hold over his head. I went and got these ass shots for you and you still gonna leave me type shit. So when we're talking about body types, man, everybody has their own preference. That's why men hit the gym. Men hit the gym so they can look good for women. A lot of the things men do are for women. You know what I mean? Like cologne, all the clothes, fashion, all this type of shit. Yeah, they want other men to know they can afford it or whatnot, but they're doing it to get approval and attention from women because that's what men compete for. We all like the same chicks. We just she gets to decide who she gives her time, attention, and pussy to. We trying to say, pick me. I'm qualified. Choose me. That's what men are doing on a day-to-day basis. In society, in the club, at the bar. They're trying to get women to choose to give her time, attention, and pussy to him. And if he can do it by being authentic and being real, then he's cool. He's good. He'll always be able to attract quality women. But if he can't do it by being authentic, he's going to flip the fuckboy switch and start lying and telling them and deceiving them till he gets to hit a couple times, get some shit out of them. By the time they figure it out, he done hit already and he's on to the next. It's very simple. It's logical. Fuckboys, their morals are fucked up. How they go about it is fucked up. But the logic is there. It makes sense. Y'all can't tell the difference between a real man and a fuckboy. Why not exploit it? Why not? If you're a dude that's struggling to get women to like you for who you are, it makes sense to pretend to be some extra shit. By the time she figures it out, you probably been smashed already. She may be in love with you already. Y'all may have a child already. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And when people like me try to school women on how to tell the difference, a lot of them don't even take the insight. They don't even take the authentic male perspective on how to tell the difference between a real man and a fuckboy. So they just gonna keep getting played, and the cycle will continue. The dudes that really ain't that qualified will get the same type of benefits that qualified men get, at least temporarily. Sometimes they can finesse it into a permanent thing. Just depends. So I just wanted to shed some context on the topic of having personal preferences for body types. Like, it's okay to like what you like. You know what I mean? And it's okay to be honest about it. Like, even if you choose somebody for reasons other than body type, that's perfectly fine. But that doesn't guarantee the relationship will work out either. From a male perspective, it's a lot easier for a man to deal with stuff from a woman that make his dick hard all the time. Like, just being honest. Like, that's one way that men can tell when they are really feeling a woman. I don't know if that's the same for women, but a man that's really into a woman, his dick will be hard even when they're not about to fuck. Just watching her get dressed, just looking at her at eat dinner, like stuff like that will, because men connect with women sexually. You know, that's why we have the phrase making love. So me and a lot of the guys that I talk to, how a woman makes a man's dick feel when he's around her or thinking about her is a really big indicator of how much he likes her. And a big booty really, really, really helps in that department. A lot of things that women can do help in that department. Big booties, cute panties, cute outfits, good perfume, body wash, and nice hair. Like, all the shit that y'all do contributes to that. All of it. And that's just the reality of it. That's how men feel about women. So I just wanted to, like I said, shed some light on some insight and put the conversation in context. You know, you can't have women being able to make all the choices that they want to make and then act like it's a problem for men to do the same thing. Nah, it don't work like that. So this has been another insightful batch of knowledge from Terry Duran. Hope y'all learned something.